Hey guys, it's Carla. Today I'm working on a canvas panel with acrylic paint. This is white, medium yellow, permanent red, phthalo blue, and raw umber. And I've painted the canvas with a watered down red, and I've already sketched on my outline. I didn't put my trees in yet because I'm just going to kind of put those where I want them, but I wanted to go ahead and get the church in. And I'm going to use these 3 synthetic angle brushes. That should be all I need. They're just different sizes depending on what I'm doing. So I think I'll go ahead and block in my trees and then work around them. And I want this to be a fall scene, so I think I'll put maybe a yellow tree back here behind the church. I'm starting out dark so I can add highlights. So I'm just kind of tapping in some color back here. And then I'll come back and highlight it after it has a chance to dry a little bit. And now I gotta be careful with red because it's so strong. So this is the base color for my orange tree that I'm going to have right here. Kind of peeking out from behind the church. Maybe about right there. And then I'll have a red one over here on the side, like a big one, and it's just kind of coming in from off the canvas. So it's going to be pretty big. And if I don't leave enough sky holes, I can always come back in and paint those in when I paint the sky. Okay, and these need some tree trunks and branches and all that good stuff that holds it all up. And these will make more sense when I get the highlights on. It's just nice to indicate that there's something supporting all of this. And this tree trunk would be over here off the canvas, so you're not going to be able to see it. All right. I think I'll go ahead and put the grass in. And this is a fall scene, so it's not going to be green grass. So this will be my base color. And there's going to be some grass in the middle of the road here. And everything gets bigger as it gets closer. Okay, now my road will be maybe, let's see what this shade looks like. There we go. All right, I'll go ahead and get my sky put in. Now back here I'm going to have a mountain, so I'm going to skip that area. I'm going to switch to a smaller brush and put in my mountain. Maybe it's got a little bit of red in it, like a purple mountain. Now down toward the horizon in the sky, I want it to be a little bit lighter, like maybe either the sky is lighter there or there's clouds or something like that. Just something so that it's not all the same shade. And if you keep your brush strokes choppy, then it can easily look like clouds. Maybe there's some clouds right here. Tap them in. All right, I'll go ahead and block in my church. And okay, so my light is going to come from the right. So the front of the church will be lit up and the side will be shaded. So I'm going to go ahead and put in my shaded side. And then the light side. All right, let me come up with a shade for my roof. I'm going to need this smaller brush to put in my doors and windows. And I'll just use a nice dark shade for that. And actually, maybe my door is going to be white. And then I'll use some of this shade color to define it. Need some steps down here. And rails. And actually, I think I want some, maybe a couple windows here on the door. Okay. So now everything is, it has a base coat on it. So now I can just come back and put in some highlights and different colors. Let's see. Okay, so I want my, let's see, maybe I'll work on my grass. Again, it's fall, so I don't want it to be green. And notice I'm not painting it solid because then it just looks flat. So I'm just kind of putting some different colors in there and different shades. And I've got that red underneath that's peeking through, so that helps. Okay, now I'm going to do something at the edge of the driveway because it looks too hard, I guess. So maybe there's some dirt. Let's see what this does. So right here along the edge, I'm using the tip of my brush and just kind of scumbling in kind of an odd shape so that I don't have that hard line there. And I'm keeping my brush strokes horizontal so that I don't lose my perspective. And right here it turns around the bend, so you're not going to see the edge of the road right there. Darken it in places. Okay, now I forgot the grass here when I highlighted it. And then along the edge I want to come out over it a little bit with a highlight on the grass so that it kind of sits it down in there. Blend it all in. And remember, my light is coming from this side, so this will catch some highlight right here. It's just kind of maybe a bush at the side of the road. Maybe there's some grass, who knows. Okay, I'm gonna scoop off some of this paint because it's awfully thick right there. And then I'm gonna use pure yellow to highlight this one because I want it to be bright. But the brightest area is going to be on the right side because that's where the light's coming from. And then this tree, I want it to be orange. So just a little bit of red. Maybe a little white. I want to make sure that this right side is lighter than the left. Alright, now I'm going to highlight this tree. And there's not really a strong highlight on this one because it's not facing the sun. If there was a highlight, it would be on like over here off the canvas. So this is just different shades of leaves. See how it looks to put some bright red in this one. I don't want to get too crazy with this because, I mean, although some trees are, I've got a maple tree in my front yard that gets really red in the fall, but I'm not going to get too crazy with that. Okay, so maybe a little more yellow. This bush. And maybe some dark down here to give it some dimension. Okay. I'm gonna try to put in some fallen leaves down here and see how that looks. And if it doesn't look right, then I can always cover it up. I'm just kind of twisting my brush as I go, just to get different so that I don't have like a pattern of shape. Use under this one would be yellow. Okay, now I need some shadows from the trees. Some cast shadows. So let me come up with a good shadow color. Alright, so light's coming from over here. There would be a shadow cast back that way from that trunk. You won't be able to see that shadow. Put a little shadow color in here. And then this tree will be casting quite a bit of shadow. So and I want to leave, as it gets farther out, you know, we've got gaps up here like sky holes, so I want to do that with the shadow too. I guess the church didn't really have much of a shadow, but I will darken it some, just right down here at the base. whether it makes sense or not. I'm doing it for artistic reasons. Contrast. Okay, let's see. So I need to brighten up the highlight on the front of the church. And you might want to spend more time on this than I am. I'm just trying not to make a big long video, but you can piddle with it a little more than I am. Now mixing up a pale yellow shade for highlights. Maybe on the handrails here. And just here and there where it makes sense for the light to be hitting it. And actually you can, let me show you, if it's really, really light yellow, you can use it to make the highlight even lighter, or look lighter anyway, look sunnier. Alright, now we need a shadow underneath the eave. I mean, obviously this whole side is shaded, but I want it to be darker right there underneath. Again, you can spend more time on this, but this kind of shows you how to do it anyway. Let's see. Just a few little touch-ups. I might pedal with it a little bit more after the video, but it's pretty much the way I want it. So hope you guys enjoyed this one. Give it a try, and until next time, God bless you.